sponsors of Inside the GMHL. Whether you're buying a car or you need one fixed, Ed's Auto Mart and ProTech Tire and Auto are the only place to go. Family owned and operated. Support our sponsors. Visit them today.
Nice. Welcome to the show, Season 2, Episode 1. I couldn't be more excited. I'm with a co-anchor here, Bob Russell. Bob, how are you?
I'm happy to be here, Joe, and looking forward to our 12th season.
12th season and second season of Inside the GMHL. Things are looking good.
Things are looking good. Good to have you back.
Yes, it's good to be back.
You did well last year, and I know
Yes.
you'll do even better this year.
It's going to be great, and I can't wait for it. So, like you said, the 12th season is here. The GMHL has grown to include 24 teams competing, or actually 23 now.
23.
23.
This season. We do have 24, but one team is taking the lead.
Yeah, so we have 24, right? And then 12 in the one division, so in the south, and 11 in the north. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right.
Excellent. And we set it up a little differently this year. So this is the first time ever that the Rattlers and the Bulls won't be facing off against each other.
yeah,
so
that's
like
true.
the whole thing's been set up differently than usual.
The reason for that is partly because with the show,
Yeah.
we want involvement from both divisions, not just the north.
I'm gonna get an email about this.
And as president of the league and with Ken as commissioner, we wanted more interrelations with all of the teams.
Yeah, you want to be able to get to the games,
Yeah,
especially in our kind of weather, that we can get a snowstorm within an hour.
Yeah, we want to see every owner,
Yep.
and this way we will.
Absolutely. And I think it's going to be great for the teams as well. I think it's going to be great for them.
Absolutely. Both divisions are going to be very competitive this year.
Yeah.
We always get together with owners and people in the office and try to predict who's going to do what. And it's exciting this year because most of the teams are very strong. There's two or three struggling, but the whole league is helping them as well.
Oh, for sure.
We're looking pretty good this year.
And, you know, because they're thinking smart. It is a business at the end of the day. I mean, each team is a business. It's individually owned. For example, Perry Sound, they've taken a leave of absence. They haven't folded. I want to make that clear.
No.
They have not folded, but they've taken a leave of absence. And that's a good business decision. And let's talk a little bit about that.
They actually paid the league fees to play this year.
Yep.
And that's why they've taken a leave. It's not folding. They haven't quit. They still have the rights to have a team next year there. And the reason he did it is because Mike owns three teams.
Yep,
Mike
that's
Blair,
right. Seguin Huskies.
Seguin Huskies, Kingsville,
Kingsville,
Kings, and
Kings,
Perry Sound Islanders. And he had recruited, I think, somewhere around 65 players. He was a little short. Still did well, recruiting that many players.
Yeah.
But he said, you know, with two teams, I can do very well, and also I can help some other teams in the league that are struggling a little bit. Some new teams, rookie teams.
Yep, and we're going to talk about them.
Yeah, and we thought, hey, Mike, that's not a bad idea. Then remember, Mike owns a pro team in the Federal League as well.
This guy knows
So
hockey.
he's got a full plate.
Yeah, and he knows hockey.
Yeah, he knows hockey.
This was a strategic move. Don't ever think of this, folks, as, you know, he gave up or anything like
not at
that.
all.
This is a strategic move. You watch.
Yeah. If you look at it financially, and you know, you always have to look at that side of things.
And the development of the players.
Yeah, we have 23 businesses in our league.
Yep.
He owns 3 of them.
Yeah.
And you don't just walk away from an investment, and I don't think he's done that here.
Oh, no, for surely not. I mean, the thing is Perry Sound was a strong team, very big hockey town. Bobby Orr came from that town. I personally looked at his house, almost bought it for an investment. So I got to see Bobby Orr's room.
I remember you telling me.
Yeah, it's not the same anymore. It's a little, you know, it's
an old house.
It's an old house,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was cool. You know, when I walked in there, Bob, I said, wow, this was a kid laying on his bed, looking at a picture of a hockey player on the wall saying, I want to play hockey one day. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. These kids are all thinking that, getting on this ice.
Well, you go back to the
You
50s
did.
and 60s, and a lot of the kids came from the north. They had ice longer, they had outdoor rinks longer, they had many more outdoor rinks per capita than we did down here in the bigger cities. And That's why so many kids came from the north years ago. But now you can go anywhere, and there's rinks in every town, and ice year-round now.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
you see kids coming from everywhere.
Exactly. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is player advancement. And I want to bring this up more often during the show. I think it's very important. And the one that's really stuck out to me is Igor Kurbatov. He went to the QMJHL, a Quebec league, to the Victoriaville Tigers, I believe it was. He was actually a 2-year GMHLer. He was being touted off as an off-season steal, they call it, for the Tigers. Through 68 games, Kurbatov posted 97 points, winning Rookie of the Year in 2016 for the organization.
Good player.
Great player.
Plays with a bit of an edge. He got quite a bit taller last year, I noticed.
Yeah.
He's somewhere around 6 foot, I think, and good hockey player. Went there, I think, in the first exhibition game. I think he had 4 points, 3 or 4 points, and he raised some heads right off the bat. The owners were talking about him day one.
Yep.
And so he's cracked the lineup, and we hope he does well from here on. And we always like to see kids advance, but when they go to major junior, that's even more exciting.
And that league, it's you can get cut pretty easy on that league. I mean, I know of another player that tried out with him, and he didn't make it. So
very hard to make that level. It's the best. To me, I believe it's the best junior league in the world. And more kids make the NHL right out of there than any other league I'm aware of.
Yeah.
And I wish him the best of luck. It's great to see a kid from our league do that.
So he wasn't the only one. There was a few more around the league that.
I think several have gone to major
Junior
A camps, but we haven't got all the results back yet. And
but, they're coming.
if a few make it, beautiful.
So just the fact that they're trying out, though, it shows that the GMHL, these teams, we're talking about these businesses, are doing their job. They're showcasing these kids.
Absolutely. We're in our 12th year now. We've sent over 200 to NCAA hockey, and you can compare that to any Tier 2 league. I don't care who it is. Div 1, we haven't done as well as many leagues, but Div 3, we've done exceptionally well, and Pro, we've done exceptionally well. Because, in a lot of cases, our owners are actively involved in getting kids to a higher level, and that's the footprint this league has left on the market. Not only a new league that's raised its level over the years, but active participation in getting a kid to another level.
Absolutely. And I want another segment coming up in this new season is I want to really focus on our community, because really that's what makes hockey, is the fans that show up. The fans that watch our show, the fans that are watching the games. Perfect example is the Lynx had an impressive 3-2 win over the Melbourne Spartans in the night before, of a packed house. Would you say 500 in the stands?
Well, I talked to Pat Miron, he's the president and owner of the team, and I spoke before the game ended, the next day after they had won that game, and he said he had a full house.
Yes.
Packed, he said, and that, I think their rink holds 500.
500.
So yeah, they did exceptionally well. They've taken that business and turned it around in the last 2 years, and not only that, they beat one of the best teams in our league.
That's right.
Night,
That's right. The Spartans.
Almaguin.
Almaguin, yeah.
And Almaguin was picked to be possibly first place in the North.
Yep.
And by all the owners, and we all talked, and they thought Almaguin was right near the top. And hey, got to give West Nicholson credit, and they beat them.
And then same story of a packed house for the Temiskaming Titans, who were playing their 7th home opener since their inaugural year of 2011. The record in home openers was a perfect 6-0, Bob.
Yeah.
But the upset was Ville Marie came to town on Friday evening and left with a 4-3 win in their first ever GMHL season game. And that crowd was 600. That's confirmed.
Yeah, that was I think they can hold a little more than that, but that was a packed house too, pretty much. And Ville Marie's raising the eyebrows in the league. They've taken this league by storm.
Yep.
And, they've knocked off a couple of the best teams in the league right off the bat, and it was a road trip for them. You go on the road to Temiskaming, your first game you've ever played in this league, and beat them in their own ring. And then
Especially
the
with
next
a 6-0 record.
That's right. And then the next night, you go to Sturgeon Falls
Yeah.
and beat them in their own rink too. I mean, it's amazing what they've done the first 2 games.
I mean, they were outshot 55-30. The Titans outshot them, and they still come out with a W.
Absolutely. So they got good goaltending, obviously.
Absolutely.
And nice to see that. And I hope they do well this year.
And the Bulls won 12-3 on their road trip.
Bulls won 12-3 in London. London having a bit of a rough start,
Yep.
but Jeff Zero will pull it out. I know he'll do well, and he's already got more players coming in, from what I hear. And his lineup will get stronger. I think in 3 or 4 weeks you'll see a better team there
Yep.
than he's starting with. And the Bulls, they have a decent team this year as well.
Yes.
So yeah, a good game last night. And I know today, I believe London lost as well. And I believe Kingsville beat them 12-2 as well.
And then the Steamer heading down to Temiskaming. There's another team that struggled last year.
Tottenham?
Tottenham, to put it...
Not Temiskaming.
Not
it's,
Temiskaming, sorry.
Tilsonburg.
Tilsonburg. It's a
yeah.
T word.
Yep.
So they're going down to see them. And last year they struggled to put a team together. They had some rough go in the beginning, a little rocky, but they didn't give up. We talked about this last season. They didn't give up, and look at this year. They have a full roster.
They're a full roster
and
this
let's see
year.
how they do.
Hopefully they're a good team too.
Yep.
And, you know, Ian Ellis is a hockey guy. His brothers played NCAA hockey, and Ian's played high-level hockey as well, and his brother even played pro hockey. So they're a hockey family. He's a businessman, and a successful businessman. I knew he'd do well. It only take him a matter of time, and he is.
And they picked up some new coaching staff there. Dennis Maroc is still going to be a coach there, but he's just coming off surgery, so we're wishing him, a speedy recovery there. But he had a surgery at the end of last year, so he's going to slowly get back into the game. So he's got some young blood taking charge while he's away.
Yeah, I know
Matt Hamilton and
yeah, Matt Hamilton's the head coach, NGM. I
NGM, yep,
believe,
that's
and
right.
I don't know if their plans are to have Dennis behind the bench again when he comes back, but if you've heard that, maybe that is.
Yeah, I talked to
haven't
Dina.
heard that.
Dina said that they do want him around, of course, with his expertise. Who's a legend for the.
Absolutely. I played against
Capitals.
Dennis.
You played Dennis,
in Major Junior. He was captain of London Knights. I was captain of Sudbury Wolves.
There you
and,
go.
we both went drafted the same draft year, and I knew Dennis back then, and he was an unbelievable hockey player, and a smaller player, but boy did he do well with his size. Probably the best player I played with in Major Junior. I remember Dennis Potvin.
Oh, okay, I remember, yeah. So, that being said, and we talked about the Pirates, the Ville Marie Pirates. There's some new teams. Let's talk about the new teams. And actually, there was actually something on our on your website on the bottom corner. There was a YouTube video of the post to post, I believe, is the segment, and they did their best from 25 to number 1 of the logos. So they went through all the logos, and we got some really neat logos. I'm really liking the Force. The Force, I really like that.
Like the Force, yeah.
I love the
like
Force
it.
logo,
Good.
and there's some really nice logos out there.
Force
Aces.
Yeah, Force is one of the new teams.
Yep.
Marshall Uretsky, pretty much a veteran from our league. As an
Absolutely.
owner. He did
And can
well
sing
with,
"O Canada."
And he can sing, yeah. Engelbert Humperdinck.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what he
likes to sing. for sure.
But Fergus is a new team, Ville Marie.
Yep, Ville Marie Pirates.
Pirates, and a strong team as well.
The Windsor Aces.
Windsor Aces, they're the 3 new teams. Now,
Yeah.
Wyerton has new owners. They're not a new team in our league. Well, they actually are.
They are.
Because the other
Wyerton
team
Schooners.
folded.
Yep.
And so
They took over the town though.
They went to the same town, so they're basically
rink?
a new team. Same rink, yeah.
So then, that being said, who's looking strong this year?
Well, there's a lot of teams that
I mean,
look strong.
we called it the parity season last year. It's going to be interesting what this season brings. It's going to be more competitive, I think.
You got to go with the champions. I usually
The Whalers?
do. Nag, the Whalers. I think I hear he's very strong again. I really like Ville Marie, although I haven't seen them yet.
No.
I really like how they played the first 2 games on the road, and it's hard to win on a road trip against a good team, and they've done it as a rookie team, and that's amazing.
It's impressive, yeah.
Very impressive. going to try to make their home opener because I think that'll be I bet the fans are just rocking that night. So
Oh,
that'll
absolutely.
be exciting to watch.
Well, there's a momentum now too.
Yeah, they got
so even if they
momentum.
didn't have the fans before, they're going to start coming out of the
And
woodwork.
There's going to be some good high expectations in that town now, and why not? You just knocked off one of the best teams in our league.
Yeah.
And they're going to be fun to watch this year.
Absolutely, and it's going to be an interesting season. I can't say that enough. I think head office. If, we talk about that briefly. You guys are really trying to make this a more competitive league, and it's showing. I think with the changes that have come down the pipe.
There's a couple of big things we're doing now. One thing is helping the struggling teams. There's 2 or 3 teams this year that haven't got out of the gate strong, but they're impressive in other ways. And so the league is helping them, and an example might be London, where Jeff struggled filling his lineup, but he's a ex-NHL hockey player. He knows his hockey. He's in a good program. So I think a bunch of people in the league thought, hey, let's help this guy out. He's worth it to us. And I think he'll do fine. And there's a couple of other teams in the same boat as him.
Yep, there is.
And I think, you said what are some of the new things we're doing this year? One is helping teams that are struggling. And the group as a whole wants to do that, all of the owners.
Absolutely.
They
see the value in it.
Absolutely. It helps them, helps their own business get stronger.
And we got some big news down the pipe as well.
Well, we have a new program this year called Power Rankings.
Power Rankings.
And what that is we're going to, we put a group of experienced hockey people together to rate our best players in our league. And the way that's going to work is we're going to show the top college prospects and the top pro prospects. And we'll just be working out the dynamic of that the next couple of weeks, how we're actually running it. But it's exciting because we're going to display bi-weekly our best rankings on our website, and we're going to take that and communicate with colleges and pro teams. So we're actively participating in placing them at higher levels.
So that's going to be huge for recruiting.
It's going to be huge for recruiting. It's going to be huge for the league because I've seen a lot of teams do it. You get a lot of good,
but not a league.
well-owned teams that go out there and help their kids go somewhere. Very seldom do you see a league do it.
So you
And
guys
our
really
league
stepping
is
up.
doing it. I think we've got eight guys rating the players. They're all hockey people, and I've already got over 80 colleges I'm communicating with, 15 pro teams, and several major junior teams. So the major junior teams I still have to work out. I'm talking to, but we really do want to actively participate in this now and show what we're doing, not just say we're doing it, to show what we're doing. And I'll have a little caption every couple of weeks showing what colleges are.
Excellent. Right here on the show.
Yeah. Well,
or maybe not.
I don't know if I can
On the
bring them
website
on the show.
or-
I can talk to you about it on the
Cool.
show. But
Okay.
these
Excellent.
colleges, I'll give you an example. Elmira has been a college that we've sent kids to for years from this league, for years.
Yep.
One year there were 8 players in their lineup from this league, and Elmira is one of the best Div 3 teams in the country. And there's a school we'll be talking to, but Div 3 teams normally don't have budgets to send recruiters around to different towns to recruit, so they rely on people to help them.
Makes sense.
So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to actively do it. And we're going to aggressively do it this year, and we're going to show what we're doing. So we're very excited about that. Also, Joe, a lot of people notice that follow this league. There's a lot of kids go from here to Europe.
Yes.
Go over there. We're going to mention teams we're talking to. We're going to mention the teams that are interested. Don't know if we'll mention the players' names yet. We might. I'm going to test the waters on that with the other owners and see if they want me to do that. Because remember, some of these kids, the owners might not want the kid talked about. It might affect how the kid plays. So we're careful with this.
Especially goaltenders, right?
Well, any player. Right?
Any player, but yeah.
I remember it can have a negative. I remember one year, my second year with the Wolves, when I played hockey, I was told Pittsburgh was going to draft me as an underage.
And they didn't.
And they didn't. But I remember when my coach told me that, for a couple of weeks, my head was in the
Cloud
clouds.
nine, yeah.
And I just didn't play as well as I should have played.
Right.
And my own fault, but this kind of thing can affect a player.
Sure
so
can.
we want to be careful about it, how we're running it.
Makes sense, but I think it's going to be a big difference this year, and I'm looking forward to the second season here of Inside the GMHL. I appreciate you being on.
Joe, nice talking to you again.
Absolutely. All right, guys, there's going to be more to come. We're going to have some highlights and things like that, and season 2, first episode. I'm super excited. I can't even talk, so God, good. That's all, folks. Well, I told you we'd have more, and we're here. Jordan Richardson, JR, as we like to call him. Season 2, episode 1. You're on it.
All right, let's start off the season right, Joe.
Absolutely. So good to see you, man.
Here, buddy.
Absolutely. So, I want to talk a little bit about your Civics.
Mm-hmm.
They played not last night, Thursday night.
Thursday night, yeah.
How'd that go?
It went really well. We hosted the Wyerton Schooners, who
The
you
Wyerton
guys,
Schooners,
the Rattlers
yep.
are playing tonight.
Yep.
First game, it's nice to come out strong, and we did with the 10-2 win. I mean, there's things that you can work on, obviously, all the time throughout the season, let alone right at the beginning. But at the beginning of the season, I think we're coming out. We're fairly confident. Every season is a new season, and the expectation is the same for every team, and that's to go out there and compete and hopefully bring home a championship.
I understand you're getting TJ Sherwood back. We had a segment last season on him, back from the dead, so
Yeah.
he's healthy and he's ready to go.
Yeah, he's still back from the dead. He's staying alive, as the Bee
Staying
Gees
alive.
would say.
Staying alive.
Yeah, he's been working hard all off season. I mean, aside from the injury that had him out last year,
Yep.
I mean, he's been putting in the work to come back and be a number 1 goalie in this league again.
And the term is red-shirted, and they do it often in college. I'm sure you've heard of this being a sports guy, but red-shirted, where they take that really good player and they pull him back. And this is a little different. This wasn't voluntary. This is involuntary because he got injured.
Yeah.
But that can make a big difference to really develop this player.
I mean, and even so, if you look back to the Tottenham year he had before, it was almost like a redshirt season for him.
Yeah.
Not because he didn't have the skill.
He could have went anywhere and been
but-
number 1.
But
goalie.
because we had Denny Doublestein that year, it was
Doublestein,
almost
good
like
goaltender.
like a forced red shirt /
That's right.
split hand situation with TJ,
Yeah.
where he had all the talent in the world,
Yeah.
but we just happened to have a goalie who was suited to lead us at that time, and also help develop TJ to his maximum potential. So I mean, you saw that at the beginning of last season after what would be his redshirt Tottenham year, and then at the same time after he got back from injured, we groomed him in and we brought him back a little bit slower than most players when they're first coming into a season, just because it was an injury. But when he was back, and he announced it astoundingly.
Absolutely.
So-
So overall, as a league, I know you like to do your research and look around at the league, and so we got some new teams coming in. You see the upset with Ville Marie winning there over
I
the
did.
Titans.
I did.
Their first game in the season, they take them out, and I don't know if you know this. The Titans are usually coming off 6-0 for their openers. They
Are
have
they?
never lost their opener in the last 6. So Ville Marie comes in, brand new team, and says, "Yeah, we'll take that W."
I mean, it's just going to spark that rivalry that everybody's already almost put on those two franchises.
Yeah.
It's going to make it
Well,
a little
because of
bit
their
more.
where they are,
Yeah.
right? They're over in Quebec, right?
Yeah.
They're the French section, I
Yeah.
guess.
The French connection.
The
those
French
two.
connection, there you go.
Yeah.
So, and Whalers coming back strong as well. That's who I really put your team up, run for their money.
Yeah, I mean, last year Niagara was so strong, and then the same this year. We didn't have a whole lot of opportunity to see who Niagara was signing over the course of the offseason. And then right before they start their season, they kind of announced that we have these players or we have these players, and they build a strong roster every year. I'll give them that. Another team that looks solid is St. George. Actually has been signing
The
a
Ravens,
lot of players
yeah.
again. I mean, you guys had them picked as your dark horse.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Last year, I don't know if you can call them a dark horse anymore, considering how strong they were
Yeah.
to finish off the season and how strong they're going to be
That's
to
right.
start this year.
So we called last season the parody season. I can't wait to give it a nickname this year. It's only time will tell, though. So you'll help me with that.
We'll find something to call this season. I mean, whether it be, who knows? I mean, I'm sure you'd love it if we got to name it the Rattler season, right?
Well, I'm an inside the GMHL guy now, so I can't say I have a favorite team these days.
Maybe it'll be the inside the GMHL
Maybe
season.
the inside the GMHL season, but definitely season 2. So I'm excited, and I'm excited to have my mentor on the show. Always been there for me and helping me out in this league, and I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. It's an honor to be back, and good things for season 2.
All right, we'll see you soon, guys. Joe Todd.
GMHL.